welcome to Magic Sword, The Shadow Marches. I'm Keith Baker, and I'm going to be the Dungeon Master tonight, guiding you through the story. Let's take a moment to meet our players.
Hi, everyone. I'm Satine Phoenix, and I'm playing a half-orc devotion paladin, and her name is Time.
Hello, everyone. My name is Damion Poitier, and I'll be playing a shifter named Craig. He is a barbarian, but he has some unusual abilities for his type.
I am the keeper of the magic sword, and I am a Psi fighter.
And I am the Seer of All.
You were working together with Time wielding the power of the magic sword. You were able to cleanse the village of Greyroot. But Time, holding the sword, you know that this was just the first skirmish in a great war. The corruptor is stirring beneath the shadow marches, striving to shatter the seals that hold it at bay. Only the power of the magic sword can strengthen those seals, or fight the corruptor if its full power is unleashed. Crake, you know of the next closest seal, hidden in the sanctum known as Corbin's Hollow. You lead the group through the swamps towards it. Corbin's Hollow lies between two villages, Blackwood and Greenmoss. Crake, your pack was traveling to Blackwood before they were ambushed long ago. What's something you remember about the people who live there?
The people of Blackwood are, they're not doing quite as well as some of the other areas, but they're hardworking people, very earnest, and very much worthy of saving.
And Greenmoss is notable because it's home to a large, peaceful goblin population. Time, it's been like a second home to you. You've enjoyed many a bowl of centipede stew with your friend Mika. What is something else you remember about Greenmoss?
They have a lot of books.
No, that's unusual here. So yeah.
Yeah. Because of the adventures.
All right. So, again, you know that these places, they're full of peaceful people, hardworking people, but you also know that both of them are in terrible danger. At least half of the people of Greyroot were lost in the Corruptor's attack, and you were able to deal with that very quickly. If it rises again, it will be stronger than before. You have to hope that you can deal with this threat before it destroys Greenmoss or Blackwood. The trip passes quickly. Crake is good at his craft and finds you a safe and swift passage, and the druid Corbin is waiting for you there. He is a tall man, incredibly old. In some ways, he reminds you of an old tree, withered and he is very happy to see you.
Crake, we don't have much time. I can feel the cracks in the seal, the power struggling to break through. I'm too old to fight it alone. I must descend to the heart chamber before it's too late.
Worry not, old friend. We're here, and we will see this evil vanquished.
Very good.
He sort of nods to the rest of you. He doesn't seem to blink much at the fact that you have these mysterious, enigmatic figures and Time clutching the glowing sword. He just takes that in stride. He's like, then let's go. We don't have time. We do have time, but he says we don't. So, the entrance of the cave is just a crack in the rock face, easily missed if you're not looking for it. After entering it, it opens into a long corridor with unnaturally smooth walls, glossy, almost glass-like, if it's just sort of melted a path through obsidian. As you go further, you find patches of dark moss along the walls and floor, and as you move further, you see that it's slowly moving, just creeping along the walls around you. You also sense that just something is amiss, just something doesn't feel right to you. Weaver, you're very sensitive to sort of emotions and the states of things. What is something that just you feel with that psychic resonance that strikes you?
I feel a bit uneasy.
There's just... Go on.
That's all.
It's just a sense of something unnatural. You almost feel that presence sort of pressing, that, you can feel the corruptor trying to escape. You enter a small chamber that across from you is a pool of water. The passage continues beyond it, but what you know, Craig, is that this is normally a place where the druids entering this would bathe in the pool to cleanse themselves before moving deeper into the hollow. However, Seer, Keeper, both of you feel immediately just something concerns you about this. Something doesn't feel right to you. So, about half of the room is in water, and the path that you want to head forward would be through the water. What do you want to do?
Can we investigate this water?
Certainly. Give me an investigation check, and you have advantage on investigation.
Alright. First roll a 19.
That is very good. So, again, with your sharp immortal senses, you first off, again, what originally caught your attention was just a feeling that something was unnatural. But now you definitely make out a shape sort of dead ahead of you, right blocking the passage in the water. Something long, lean, like an alligator or some kind of reptile, just below the surface of the water. It's undoubtedly waiting for you to get close enough to strike.
Perhaps we should take it out with
What was that?
Please, sir, go.
I was going to say perhaps we should take it out with ranged weapons, or at least arouse its fury so we do not have to face it within its own territory of water.
You're wise.
Someone want to take an action?
I will do so. I'm going to draw my longbow, pull out an arrow, give it the old heave-ho.
I'm standing behind Craig.
All right, give me a roll.
Well, actually, am I able to spot it after we...
Once he points it out, it's what I'd say is for now, for this first shot, I'm going to give you disadvantage, but I'm also considering this a surprise round. Okay. So in fact, I'll just even it out. That just we'll make that just an even roll. So go ahead.
Plus, that's going to be a 23.
Yeah, that is going to work. Roll some damage.
It's going to be an 8.
All right, so solid blow. You just shoot the arrow right into the darkness, strike something. Glowing green fluid leaks out, spouts from where the arrow has struck. Bright and glowing, and it thrashes. It is indeed some kind of large gator that sort of rises up and rises out of the water. And you're all prepared to take ranged attacks. You're at a distance from it, but this isn't just a normal alligator. As it rises up and roars at you, you see tentacles coming out of its mouth, ready to lash out at you. At this point, I'd like everybody to go ahead and roll a initiative roll for me.
You should have known.
Let's go ahead with the keeper. When you're ready, go ahead and tell me what you rolled.
16.
All right. Weaver.
10.
Okay. Seer.
6.
Crake.
8.
And Time.
11.
All right, you can see the image of the creature you're fighting up in the corner there. And Keeper, you are going first. So it has risen out of the water. You are currently at a short distance, about 20 feet away from it. You have a feeling it will lash out at you with those tendrils. And you also see where its blood's gone into the water, that the water around it is glowing green and sort of boiling a little.
I think I'm going to take a step back closer to Time.
All right.
And I think I'm just going to take a defensive stance for now.
All right, so you will hold and be ready to attack or defend as soon as something closes.
Correct.
And something is about to happen because it is faster than the rest of you. So those tentacles in its mouth lash out at you like the tongue of a giant frog. And I would say that it is going to start with the first one aiming at Time as if it is drawn to the magic sword. Keeper, do you want to try and defend her with your shield?
Yes, I
right,
would.
So you use your reaction, and that will make it hard. And because of that, the tentacle strikes your shield, hissing against it as if there's acid on it. And the first one you succeed. The second one, you succeed, and with the third tendril, it now turns its attention to you, realizing that basically you have blocked 2 attacks against Time. And that third tentacle does lash around your leg. You basically have blocked the 2 attacks, but then it gets under your defense, clashes around your leg, and you take 5 points of acid damage as it sears into the medlin wood that makes up your body, and it is holding on to you. You feel that at the start of the next turn, it is going to try and pull you towards it. Now, you did pause your action. Do you want to take another action right now? Do you want to respond to this?
Yes.
What would you like to do?
would like to attack with my rapier.
All right, so you will step forward and just drive the rapier into it?
Try and slash those tentacles away.
Okay, do you want to just try and cut the tentacle away from you, or are you going to dart forward to stab the beast?
Well, I feel... Am I close enough?
You're not close enough right now, but you could move forward if you wanted.
Okay.
Or you could just try and cut the tentacle loose. Which do you want to do?
I think I'll cut those... I think those tentacles are troublesome. Slash down and slice through that tentacle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me an attack roll.
A 10 plus 5, 15.
Easily. So you slash into it, and frankly, with the damage you are likely to do, you will just cut through it. The vile green fluid spurts out across the floor, but you have cut yourself free, and let us go to Time.
I'm furious. I knew the corruption was everywhere, and I would like to go take a step closer towards this creature.
Mm-hmm.
And does it only have 2 legs, or it has forward legs?
It has 4. They're just small. It is standing. You can tell that the water is not particularly deep. So you could walk up to it if you wanted.
So have I ever seen this kind of algae before? Do I recognize this weird thing that's happening with the water as somebody who's a...
Yeah, give me a nature check.
Not with a 5 on the die. That's an 8.
No, I mean, what you recognize is this is deeply unnatural. You know, that this is not something you're familiar with.
I don't want to get too close, but I will get close enough to hit it with my magical sword.
All right. Go ahead and let's see that. And what are you doing? Are you driving it like point down? Are you doing a big slash?
No.
What's this
I
look
go
like?
to do it, and then I'm like, I actually don't want to get in the water at all. So I, with a 2 on the die, I stop at the edge. I look back at Craig. I shake my head, and then kind of like, before it can get an opportunity attack, I would like to not get that close. I guess I have to, but yeah, so I disengage.
You know, I mean, you've only had this sword for a day. You know, it takes a little getting used to charging in and fighting monsters. And I will say that as your toe touches the water, it burns a little bit.
Oh, I knew
Like
it.
you think that there's sort of acid spreading through the water around the creature. And as you're close to it, you do think that it's directly around the creature, that it's sort of poisoning the water around it in some way.
This creature's made of acid or poison. Stay clear.
All right. And that brings us to the Weaver. What would you like to do?
I would like to cast a ray of frost to try and slow this creature down.
All right. Do you want to hit the creature with it directly, or do you want to cast it on the water?
I would like to cast it on the water around in hopes to not only freeze the water and give us a chance to walk across it, but also stop this creature in its tracks.
Do you have Arcana as a skill?
Yes.
Go ahead and give me an Arcana roll.
Uh, 21.
Oh, very good. All right, so you call on your powers to conjure frost and ice, and instead of just channeling a bolt directly at the creature, you channel that power into the water itself. Ice flows around the creature, and that freezes it in place, at least for the next round. People attacking it will have advantage on their attacks. Also, someone could step up to it. One person could be next to it and be standing on the ice instead of in the acid. That brings us to Craig.
I still maintain my distance, and switching weapons and moving forward would be, you know what, just gonna give it a couple of arrows.
Okay. How many arrows can you shoot per round? Just one or two? Full action, you can shoot 2 arrows, right? I think it's just
is it-
one, unless you
just one?
have,
Okay,
there's
no
a
problem.
feet that lets you, or, you know,
Yeah, I
there's
don't think I have
various feats and things that you do.
So 18.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll take that. Where's my? No. That's for the damage. Oh, nice. 12 points of damage.
All right, so that sinks directly next to one of its eyes, not quite piercing it. And as it does, you sort of have this look that the eye actually almost sort of pops out a little. Like you think that the creature is still in the process of mutating, and a little sort of tentacle comes out and is sort of feeling the air around it. It is wounded, but it's still got a lot of toughness in it. And that brings us to the Seer. Seer, you feel,
Yes.
by the way, that there is a power growing in the creature. You feel that it is sort of building up to do something on its next action.
I do.
Go ahead, and what would you like to do?
I would like to cast a Witch Bolt
Okay.
and hit to the creature. 17.
All right, and are you using a first or second level spell slot for that?
I'll do a first.
Okay. So that is, I'm forgetting the precise damage. I can't remember if it's 1d12 or 2d12, but I hope you have
It's
that.
1. I rolled a 7.
All right. So the bolt of energy crackles into it, and as a witch bolt, you have now established this connection and this conduit. So you can continue to blast it as we go forward, and it rises, cracking at the ice, but not able to completely break free just yet. Bringing us back to the keeper, you also can see it's swelling around its throat like something is building up within it. What are you going to do? You could stay in place.
I think I'm gonna step as close as I can to it and try and ram the rapier straight into its throat.
All right.
But I want to back that up with a little telekinetic strike.
Oh, very good. All right. You have advantage on the attack roll, meaning you roll twice and take the best roll.
7, so hopefully we do better than that. A 15, so...
Oh, if you rolled a 15, that will definitely do it.
Yeah, 20, yeah.
All right. So you drive the blade of the rapier in. How much damage do you do?
Eight.
All right. You strike it. Oh, and you get an extra d6 if you haven't rolled it from your psychic.
Oh, yes. Thank
So
you.
Connecticut, yep.
No worries.
Nice.
D6. 3.
That is significant. So you drive the blade down its throat. You see burst some kind of sac, venom sac within it. It is still about to do something very unpleasant. You could, if you wanted, use your action surge to strike a second blow here. Do you want to do that?
Yes, let's do it. Let's get
All right,
it.
go ahead. Again, still advantage on the attack.
Let's see. 11 on that.
11 on the roll will just make it once you add your bonus, if 11 is what you rolled.
Yes, it's 11. So, yeah.
All right. And that was 11 on the die, right?
Yes,
Yes,
correct.
then that'll work. So go ahead and roll damage.
So 7 plus 10. 10.
All right. Oh, so again, you thrust the blade down its throat a second time, and green glowing ooze is flowing just through its mouth, leaking out. And it rises up, breaking from the ice, and spews just green bile over you that is also going to spill out onto Time as she is close. However, that is its last action as it collapses, dead following that. And the fact that it is only hitting the two of you is because you largely broke its power. Otherwise, it would have spewed this over everyone. Both Time and the Keeper, give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, dice. Why?
What'd you roll?
Oh, I rolled a 3 on the dice.
Unfortunately, the seer has the power to guide you, but if you rolled a 3, not even the Seer of All Truths.
Who left?
Guidance in the most
Mine
ways,
left.
not all three.
Some truths are that you are about to get fried. So that is 11 points of acid damage to you. What did you roll, Keeper?
What do we do? What are we rolling for a saving throw?
D20 plus your dexterity.
I rolled a 17.
You are able to, again, get your shield up to block most of the attack. You were kind of prepared for it. You were right there. So you only take 5 points of acid damage. And the creature shudders and then just collapses with this glowing green bile leaking out of it. But almost immediately, the light fades from the ichor, and just the water stops bubbling and just returns to normal. And you feel whatever dark power was unleashing this acid into the water has died with the creature.
I have a question, Dungeon Master.
Yes.
Have I been poisoned?
No, it is purely with just burning acidic damage.
Okay, I would like to reach down
Yes?
actually it's on me, right? Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
Yes.
So I lay on hands myself, and I kind of this like golden glow, and I already have a pretty intense scar there, and so I like heal myself with this golden glow, except it doesn't like heal it all the way. It just keeps scarring over with more and more gold.
Sort of a tiny little crisscrossed, pattern where it was burns.
So now I'm just like covered in gold on like the side of me.
Are you healing the full 11?
I'm gonna heal for 10.
All right.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Keeper? How much damage did you take?
I took 5, so I've taken 10 total.
All right. You have the ability to take a second wind at some point to heal yourself when you are worried about your health.
Okay.
What will you do?
Craig, this is nastier than the last.
Yes, I fear the corruptor's power is growing, but it seems that the effects faded with the life of the creature. Perhaps it is safe to cross. I'm going to walk up and just kind of touch the water, see if it's still acidic.
No, it has indeed returned to normal. Corbin kneels down by the destroyed, horrible creature and runs his hands across its scale sadly. He's like, that was old scale. It's a shame that he died like this. He didn't deserve this.
The corruptor office respects none of the creatures that live here. We should see to its cessation as quickly as possible.
He nods.
Let's move in.
All right. Who will take the lead?
I'll do it.
Okay. So you move forward.
Keep an arrow not go out. Sorry.
Passing through the water into another narrow hall. Who is behind Craig? All right, Time is right behind you. Craig, you are moving through the hallway. The glass is gleaming and reflective, and you can see it's as if there's a Craig standing to either side of you. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Stay on board. Wait, it's 15.
All right. You see, as you are moving forward, just in your peripheral vision, you can see close behind you is Time. You see her raising the sword to stab you in the back. What are you going to do?
I'm going to drop down to a knee and glance back to make sure that what I think is an illusionary situation is the illusionary situation.
It is an illusionary situation. She's just standing there.
Watch the walls. They show you things that are not true.
All right. As you all move forward, you see that is indeed the case. Each of you sees the others around you trying to scheme or undermine each of you, but you are able to concentrate and ignore it. In particular, Weaver, you feel that this is a attempt to just unsettle and corrupt people. If you want to give me another Arcana check, you can try and just banish this lesser power.
All right. I will not be able to with a 6.
Oh no.
Well, again, what you feel is just that the strength is growing here. It is strong, it is close, and even though you try, now you are able to say, do not believe these things. This is not real. And you all do just concentrate and try to ignore them, but it is certainly unsettling.
I'm uncomfortably staring at Craig's butt to move forward. Sorry, it's not. I'm just trying to keep focus, and I'm sorry.
Well, if you have to find something more pleasant to focus on.
All right. You move forward, and you come to a deep chasm. You can't see the bottom of it. There should be a bridge made of this glass material stretching across it, but you can see just the lip of it, and that on both ends it is as if it has been melted away. Behind you, Corbin curses,
That's impossible. You couldn't destroy that material. It's indestructible.
Are we certain it's not an illusion? We've already been fooled once.
Well, it's about 20 feet across, and you're in the lead. What do you want to do?
Head up to the edge and poke at it with the toes.
All right. No, it seems to be gone.
Oh.
As impossible as it seems, we are without a bridge. I'm going to look up at the other areas, see if there's anything I might be able to grapple onto, or...
It's not. It goes about 10 feet up, and there are some stalactites. You could try to attach something to if you wanted.
1 second.
Mhm.
And I reach into my herbalism kit, and I take out some, like, dandelions. And I kind of, crush them up. And what I want to do is blow them out and see if it is an illusion and they land on something at all, or if they just kind of fly away into the ether.
They just kind of fly away, but I love the concept. I was hoping that you were going to try and just infuse everyone with the essence of dandelions and blow across on the wind.
I gotta beg
not
the
that would
magic
work
sword to do that.
But it is an excellent idea. So it is, as it flows out, in fact, it gets caught in a bit of unnatural wind. But it is not simply an illusion. It is a 20-foot gap you would have to cross. And as I said, Craig, there is a ceiling about 10 feet above you.
Well, unless someone has them.
It's not a perfect flat ceiling, but, as a jagged. Does anyone else, immortals, do you have anything you would like to try and do?
I'm staring at the seer, hoping that he can read my mind.
Can I use detect magic, or do we decide there's no magic?
We don't think there's magic here, actually. This does just seem like a physical obstacle.
It's just a whole chasm.
I have a grappling hook and a 50-foot strand of rope. Perhaps we could link to something in the ceiling and swing across.
It's possible. Or if one person could get across, they could certainly secure that.
I would like to, if I may.
Yes.
Since Time is holding this magic sword, use a bonus action to perhaps teleport her across to the other side.
Absolutely. So, as the weaver, you can weave hearts and minds, but you can also weave the fabric of space itself.
And time.
And exactly, space and time. And so as Time is holding the magic sword, you feel it cutting through space, and suddenly you find yourself across on the other side.
And I
Now,
have
if
the
we'd been
rope.
smart, you would have had the rope beforehand, but Craig could try and throw it to you easily enough. I mean, it's got a grappling hook. In fact, I'm not even going to have you roll, because it's not like if you miss, you're just going to have to do it again. I mean, this is certainly plausible. So you are going to throw the grappling hook to her.
Gently.
Wham! Right in the head. And you want to try to attach it to the end. I'm not going to make you roll to tie a knot or anything like that. I think you can do it. But basically, in fact, your strength is good enough that you can secure it on that side. You are looking for something good to secure it to on your end, Craig. Go ahead and give me, I would say, perception, unless you have another skill you think would be more appropriate.
Perception or survival or athletics is always good.
I wouldn't say athletics, but perception or survival I'd accept.
Yeah, no, we don't have any luck with this.
Now, someone could hold it. So I'm just saying, like, the keeper is fairly strong. You could certainly hold it and secure it for the others. It's just whoever does that is going to have, it'll be more challenging for them to get across on their own.
No, wait, you can move Time, but are you able to move yourself to Time?
No. Now, there's two people who do have advantages here. I'll call out. Seer, I think you have an ability called Misty Step. I could be wrong.
Oh, I do. I do have.
Now,
an
the main
called
thing
Misty
is
Step.
that would use a spell slot. You know, I mean, so you have that. You could get yourself across. On the other hand, you're also not the strongest person, I don't think. But on the other hand, the Keeper, being both strong and also you can use your psychic abilities to enhance your leaping, I think. If I recall correctly, you have a psychic leap.
I think that I would be able to make that jump.
So if you wanted to, the Keeper could secure the rope for you. The rest of you could make it across. And then it would just be the question of the Keeper is going to have to make that jump at the end on their own. And they'll have the rope, so, you know, worst comes to worst, it's not that they would completely miss and fall into the abyss, but they'd slam
I'll hold the rope.
Let's try that.
Are you all
I
right?
say we do that. Yes.
I'll hold it while everyone crosses.
Okay, so time you're securing it on the far end.
Yeah.
Keeper, you maintain it while they cross. Let us start with the Seer. Go ahead and give me a athletics or acrobatics, which is either strength or dexterity, if you don't have training in one of those two skills. Don't
I do
roll less
not
than a
have training.
5.
11.
You are fine. So you slide along the rope. It tugs at times muscles, but time is tough and gets you across. All right, Weaver. Athletics or acrobatics?
14.
You make it look stylish. You slide in there, thump, and Crake.
Whew, just made it. 5.
Wow. All right. You do not look so stylish. You land hard on your ass. It's sore, but you don't actually take damage. But, and that leaves the Keeper to leap across using, so this would be an athletics check for you.
I'm going to throw the rope back.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do an athletics check.
Perhaps you should hold on to the rope just in case you don't make the leap.
I was thinking the same thing.
I'm
too
going to throw it back.
confident.
All right.
I do appreciate your confidence, however.
We've got 18.
All right. You don't need the rope. He ignores the rope as you throw back and leap across an impossible distance and yet lands gently as your telekinetic powers bring you gently down.
I might have joked.
All right. Now, as you move now further down the passage, the moss and around you is growing thicker and denser. The light is coming from the magic sword itself, this golden aura that surrounds time. And yet, even that, it is sort of pressing in. It's not projecting as far as it was. It's as if the shadows are consuming the light around you. The moss is thicker. I mentioned before that it was moving, and you can hear it whispering. Seer, you hear the others don't understand the language that it is whispering, but you do. What is it whispering?
It's whispering that the light is no good in here.
It's whispering that the light is no good, that it is going to consume. You sense that it is hungry, that it is eating the light. Are you pressing forward? Is it still with Crake in the lead?
Yes.
Still with your bow out?
Yep.
All right. You press deeper in. Now, at this point, the moss that you've been working on, that's been around you, is growing deeper and thicker. It's more like almost an algae, and it's now a couple inches thick on the ground, and it's cold. It seems to sort of suck the warmth out of you.
And I still don't recognize it.
No, what you recognize is it does not belong here. This is not normal. And Corbin definitely is shaking his head, saying, I don't like this. But he's staying in the back, needless to say. Crake, as you venture forward, you see it's sort of the moss and the glue is undulating and sort of rolling down from the walls, and it rises up in a mass. There's glittering, shiny points within it that must be eyes, you suppose, though certainly no human eyes, and tendrils rising out of it, writhing around it. The whispering in strange languages continues, but now you hear a voice calling out in your thoughts, "You cannot defeat me."
I'm gonna unleash an arrow right through its.
That'll do. And go ahead, and then we'll roll initiative after that.
Okay, I'm done with this die. That's 10.
10 is your roll. The arrow just sort of grazes the creature and just goes right through it, and it maybe you have to hit an eye or something. It didn't seem to have any effect at all. It's not like you missed it. You just didn't actually accomplish anything. Everyone go ahead and give me initiative again.
Okay. It's bedtime.
Time, what'd you get?
17.
Nice. Craig.
10.
Keeper.
7.
Weaver.
6.
And Seer.
22.
Well, look at you. All right, so the hall is wide enough that Crake and Time are standing essentially side by side. This thing is a pillar in the middle of the chamber, with just covered with tentacles and eyes. Seer, what would you like to do?
I will cast Firebolt at the closest, most dense clump of eyes.
All right.
Oh,
Go ahead
It's a
and
one.
make a roll. Did you say it's a
I rolled a
one?
1, so I missed it. Yeah, I hit the wall.
All right. What goes disastrously wrong? How did you fail to hit this huge giant glob of goo?
I think that I just lost my focus there, and I was seeing the wrong part of the future.
So this is the thing, is that it is as if this thing is so unnatural that it doesn't belong here, that you are just guided by your senses of where it should be, and yet you realize it's not there at all.
Yes.
And so yes, the bolt just lashes out. Well, luckily there's nothing around here that could be set on fire, so you don't burn anything or hit anyone else. Is there anything else you would like to do? You can't make a second attack, but is there anything else you would like to do?
No, I'll step back and kind of hold the rear and cast more spells.
All right. Flames lick around your fingers, and we go to time.
I find the strength within me, and I'm going to rush up and wield my magic sword.
All right.
Let's see. Do I have anything that'll make me more badass than I already am right now?
So you have Divine Smite.
Yeah,
If
I'm
you
gonna
hit
do
it,
that. But is there anything that gives me super addition to hitting?
Well, if you look down at your spell list, I think it's mostly protective.
Yeah.
You have protection
Okay.
from evil.
Just checking.
You have boosting to your armor strength. But it's not that hard to hit. The
Okay.
Seer notwithstanding, it's a big static pillar of goo.
I'm going in, and I look at the immortals, and I look at Crake, and I just and my sword glows with its golden light. $11?
11 hits. It is not a hard thing to hit. You have
I
a
will
moment of
assist her.
doubt, but you are literally walking up to a giant pillar and digging the sword into it.
Awesome.
So-
I'm gonna divine smite it because this thing's gross.
Okay, will that be a single, I know, first level spell slot, or do you want to go?
Yeah.
All right. What
so-
is it? So when you do a divine smite, it is you're channeling, hope and light. What is the thought that flows through you that gives you that sense of hope that you're attacking the creature with?
The opposite of corruption.
Mhm.
So compassion.
So you're sorry for it, even though it has to be banished, because at one point it must have been a natural thing.
Yeah, this is like the circle of life. I'm gonna banish this into the ether so that it can fall apart and create into something good and new.
It's the circle of light, the circle of
Circle of
searing, burning, supernatural light that will destroy this
Yeah.
foul thing.
Okay, I got a lot of numbers here.
Okay, let's hear them.
Okay, that's an 8 and a 7.
All right.
So it's at 15.
And that's
Plus-
just the smite, right?
Yeah. Plus 15.
All right. That is huge. So you drive the sword into the heart of this thing. Light flows around it. All of you can feel the power of the magic sword and it's a comforting sort of feeling. The creature almost sort of explodes, just spikes of goo strike out of it. And yet, first off, some of those spikes of goo are hard and sharp and actually strike you right in front of it. And that is 12 points of piercing damage.
I would like to jump in here
Yes.
and use my protective field around time.
Yes. So that will not block the attack, but you can reduce the damage by 1d6.
Oh,
Because the keeper is there to protect you.
Why?
4.
yay. Thank you.
All right. So you only take 8 points of damage, or I think I said 12. So yeah, 8 points of damage. As the glow from the sword deflects some of the blows, but you see the creature, you sort of splattered a big chunk of it, but it's already crawling back together and you feel it in your mind. You cannot destroy me. And it is Crake next.
All right. I'm dropping my bow,
Mhm.
pulling my staff, and summoning the spikes for the
Yes.
mace. Which one?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
the bishop mace. And I'm going to step in and take a nice big swing at it two-handed.
All right, go for it.
Nice. That's a 20. Not natural, but that's 20.
All right, that misses. only time. No, okay, go ahead.
Oh. Let's see. Here, nice. So it's going to be 12 plus. What's the? Yep, it's going to be 12 points of damage.
All right. You cleave right through it.
Wait.
It's no.
It's an additional d6 because it's a right. Additional d6 because it's a.
Oh yeah. It's definitely an aberration.
Okay,
Yes.
that's 15 points of damage. My apologies.
All right.
And no.
And again, it's like hitting just a pillar of jello. You rip right through it. You feel a sort of psychic as you do, and splattering this mold or ooze across the walls of the building, and basically sort of take out a mass the size of like a human head. And it lashes out at you with 3 tendrils that just come straight at it, out of it, with each with razor sharp prongs on the end, and that
No, thank you.
will be
I'm good. That's good.
ouch. That will be 8 points of damage. And that brings us to the keeper.
No. Let's see here. I guess at this point, let's see how it does with a rapier strike with the telekinetic strike.
All right. Now, right now, Time and Crake are both standing. They're sort of blocking the passage. You can move sort of through them. But basically what I'm saying is instead of standing in front of it, you're going to have to sort of go around to the side of it. Are you okay doing that?
I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, so you're surrounding it is what we're saying. So you walk, you sort of move past it. And so you move to the other side of it, and now you want to stab it?
Let's strike it from behind, with the rapier, but bolstered with the telekinetic strike.
Certainly.
Okay. I got a 4.
Again, the issue is that you strike at it and it just sort of grazes along the side, and it's hard to find anything to hit. And what you can see is that even the damage that Crake did is already repairing, that it splattered it across the walls, but it's just coming down from the walls and back into the mass. And you feel a sort of shiver running down your spine that you feel is the psychic equivalent of laughter. And Weaver, what will you do?
Being that it seems it's a natural sort of mossy material, I'd like to try and ray of frost it, freeze this material, freeze what it is made out of, in hopes
to
destroy this creature.
So go ahead and just make an attack roll on this time, because it is a creature.
Oh.
Sorry, I know I had you do that Arcana thing earlier, but that's because you were doing a weird action with it.
10.
It just does. I mean, again, it is not hard to hit. But go ahead and roll your damage.
7.
All right. You do. The ray strikes it, spreads across it, and freezes a big chunk of it. And you feel a sense of concern and sort of anguish from the creature, but then that fades. For a moment, it feels fear, and then it just feels more triumphant, and it spits the chunk of ice at you as a sharpened missile. And that will hit you for 6 points of bludgeoning damage. And it hits you and shatters against you, and then is sort of leaking back into the overall mass. And once again, you feel that laughter. You cannot defeat me, bearers of the sword.
Ooh, this thing is brutal.
Seems our efforts are somewhat not as effective as we would like.
And
Hey, can we just walk around
Seer.
it?
I'm gonna try Firebolt again.
Okay.
See if it burns this puppy up. Looks like an 8.
An 8 does not hit it. It does.
Oh my god.
Bolt of light flows by it, just missing a light in the darkness. But that comes to Time. Time, what do you do?
I would like to see, has it been moving this whole time, or is it just a pillar?
No, it's just a pillar.
So I would like to walk around it.
Okay.
And try to just leave this room.
You walk away, and it's you feel its anger. It's like, no, you cannot defeat me.
I say,
its tendrils
okay.
wave.
And I go like this. I just like,
all right.
Come on, guys.
Great.
I want to follow Time.
All right.
I'm gonna sling my staff over my shoulder and go, Just walk around.
and walk around. It says, you must, you, I will not be ignored. And anyone actually do anything other than ignore it?
I'm ignoring it.
All right, so you all walk past it. It writhes angrily. I am
Do we want to give this thing a
powerful.
torch? Do we want to throw a torch at it?
No, it's like wasting a torch.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's just keep going.
As you move around it, and as you essentially stop any aggressive thoughts, it just actually starts to sort of shrink and melt and just returns to the ash. Weaver, you think that indeed it was just using your own aggression as a form of strength. So,
Damn.
I look at the sword and I contemplate this whole journey. Like, so I have immortals. So I have this sword, and I guess what I just learned is you don't always have to hit things with it. I'm not very good at it in the first place, but I think it's more powerful as a symbol.
Sometimes knowing is half the battle, is what we have discovered.
Go, Joe.
I'm gonna put up my staff, recover my bow, knock another arrow, and keep on moving.
Yeah, and I hold this, and I just hold it as like I'm strong, like, because this is new to me. This whole sword situation's new, but I'm holding it like I am a symbol of strength and power, and I'm going to ruin this corruption by being strong. And I walk forward with the glow just emanating.
You feel strong and powerful. The sword does strengthen you, and I'll go ahead and give you a point of inspiration. So you have advantage in the sword that you can use because that confidence is there for you. As you continue, you feel still that strength, and yet it is still the case that the light from the sword, the pool of radiance around you, is getting smaller, just as if the shadows themselves are more aggressive and hungrier. You, Corbin says,
We're almost there. It's almost made it.
and but you hear a sort of rustling sound, almost like water on the edge of a waterfall or in a gorge. You look ahead, Crake, and the passage is wide enough again that basically Crake and Time are standing side by side. And there ahead, you see motion in the darkness, almost as if it's a stream flowing across the hallway in front of you. But what you see is that it is actually a stream, not of water, but of tiny creatures, some sort of crustacean-y crab-like thing. Time, you remember, you ran into one of these just before the sword came to you. In fact, that's where you have the scar on your face, is from fighting a small little crab-like blind crustacean. They have no eyes, but there's a path about 10 feet across of just this constant swarm of them just crawling. What do you want to do? At the moment, they don't have eyes. They may not have noticed you, but there is countless numbers of them.
You said they're about 10 feet?
It's about 10 feet across, like
Right.
once you get to them, yes. At the moment, you're 30 feet away from
Right.
sort of the stream, if you will.
We would have to cross the stream.
Unless you want to turn around.
Don't ever cross the streams. Wait. Different
Are
thing,
you a
different
god?
thing. Okay, so, now where do we have a source where they're coming from? Is there like a break in the rock or something we can see? Or
Yeah, so basically it's a passage, and it seems like just up on the top of the wall, they're just flowing down sort of down. So there's sort of gaps in the rock up above.
Okay. How large a gap? Is it like something we think we might be able to stick something in and seal, or
Well, I
too
mean,
big?
10 feet of them, it's a little long. I mean, it's only
Yeah.
about probably 6 inches sort of
Oh.
wide.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Oh, there he
You
is.
froze for a sec.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
So it's about 6 inches wide, 8 inches across.
Oh, that's not too big. All right, what do we have? I'm going to look around for any rocks.
And my internet connection is unstable, so
Oh no.
this could be the disaster. It's the walls are out of this melted glass. There isn't
Oh, so
really
it's
a lot
nothing.
of rock around.
Corbin, are you able to seal this gap?
I don't know. This shouldn't be there. Seer, Weaver, any ideas?
Well, I can Misty Step over there.
Yes, you
but
certainly could.
That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Does it look like there's anything over there that might be of assistance across the stream?
If you want to go over there and search, you might.
I'll
find
go over
something.
there and search. Let's do
Okay,
it.
so you use Misty Step.
Yes.
And get across. There are some larger shards of this glass-like material on the other side, just sort of almost like stalactites that have broken. There is more of, again, the mold, the ooze that doesn't have the same sort of sentience as the other thing. And there is a torch that is burning with a sort of cold fire.
I will pick up the torch and try to dip it in the stream and see if it will do anything.
All right. You feel that you could amplify its power if you expended a spell slot.
Ooh.
Like you could channel power through it. So basically it just burns, but by channeling power through it, you could, sort of make it into a stream of flame.
I will.
You want to do that?
I will use a spell slot.
You do that. So first level or second level?
First level.
Okay. And a cone of blue fire flows out from it and sprays across the stream. And go ahead and do 2 things for me. First, I want you to roll 2d8, which is damage.
$13.
All right, so that just crisps a bunch of the smaller creatures, but also I want you to give me an Arcana check, and I will remind you that you have advantage on Arcana to try to use the flame to melt the area they're coming out of, to try and sort of fuse the gap.
I do. I rolled a 22.
Oh, you sure do.
I sealed it up.
So you seal the gap, you burn a number of the creatures. Unfortunately, this draws the attention of the rest that are there, but you have sealed it off, so no new ones are coming out. And you burnt quite a few of the ones that are there. I'm just saying the other ones are now pissed off. And so they do swarm all over you. And this is just a mass, the stream, basically, these are burnt, this is sealed, but all the ones over here sort of stop in their movement and then just flow over the seer, completely occupying that space. You have destroyed a large number of them, so, there's not as many as there would be, but they have advantage on their attack against you. And they are going to inflict. That is going to be 11 points of damage all over the seer.
Oh, no.
And I'm just going to use the same order that we had and go to time. So the ones that are left, and again, not that many, but there's enough that they're completely filling the space the seer is in, and they're all over the seer himself. It would be a little hard to just smack him with a sword because, the seer is in the middle of it.
I'm going to tackle the seer.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to tackle the seer and basically, stop, drop, and roll.
I like it.
So I'd like to tackle the
This
seer
is
and then
precisely what I
just...
was thinking.
Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
Okay. Come on, some dice here. There's got to be a d20 that'll roll higher than a 5. It's a 15 on the die.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and say that there is just for measure, there's about 15 of these creatures here, and you have just crushed 5 of them. And you have also sort of shaken them off the keeper, the seer. So if it gets back to the seer, some of them are now on you, but you've at least hold the seer and sort of pushed him away, so at least when it gets back to him, they won't be eating him.
Imagine like the seer's on the ground, and I'm like prone on the seer, like rolling the seer around, and I'm just kind of like...
And they're all around, but they aren't on you the way that they were completely covering the seer. So, Keeper, you could attack them if you wanted without risking hurting time. So, Keeper, what will you do?
Let's see. I'm going to run over there and slash these things away from them with my rapier.
All right. I'm not going to ask you to do it to hit roll because they're just all over, but do a damage roll and just tell me what you get. And don't forget to use your psychic power.
So we have an 8. And for psychic, we have a 6.
Wow. Okay, so that kills another 5 of them. So there's only 5 left. They are now going to nibble at Time and the Keeper, but again, there's not very many of them. So that is 3 points of damage to each of you.
Okay.
Craig.
I would like to come in and stomp about liberty.
All right. Just go ahead and give me an athletics check. Nice.
Yeah.
I would just say it's kind of like bubble wrap, like bubble wrap. But describe it to me. How do you finish all of these creatures off?
So keeping in mind how badly I nearly lost it with the chasm, Craig moves forward and comes in with a double knees up stomp, crushes 2 of them, kicks another one into the wall, steps on another one, spins, and then draws his heel into the last one. He goes, "Abhorrent creatures. We're good to be rid of them."
All right. Thanks to the seer's actions, you have sealed off the passage. You've crushed every last vile creature. The Corbin is staring at them, saying, "I don't even know what they were. Were they spiders? I don't know." And it's sad. You feel power up ahead. You can feel that you are very close to this, it must be the seal, and it's just all around you. Like, even though you can feel a power further, you can feel it growing. You can feel that the light itself has gotten dimmer around you, and you must be close to your destination. So I would say, if you want to do any kind of preparations or anything, this would be the time to do it. So
get off the seer.
Yes.
So sorry. So sorry.
There's that.
I'd like to
use a good
my
heal.
second wind. Yeah.
Okay, good call. What I'm going to say is actually just purposes of this adventure. We're not quite following the standard timeline. I'm going to go ahead and give you all a short rest. So I'm not going to make you have to use your second wind, Seer, and in fact, you'll get your action surge back, Keeper. But you can spend any number of the hit dice that you have. You all have 4 hit dice. And if you want to roll, just tell me how many you use. Each one of those, you can roll them and regain that many hit points.
What is the hit dice for a paladin?
D10.
D10? Ooh,
Yeah, you're
my first
you're
paladin.
tough.
This is exciting.
Actually rolled the wrong dice, but I got all my back anyway. At least 2.
I'm gonna roll 2. Ooh,
Okay.
16.
So you used 2.
So I'm
Craig,
full.
how many did you use?
I used 2 as well.
Okay. Keeper?
2, and I healed 13 points.
Excellent. Weaver, Seer, did you use any hit dice?
Yeah, can I use all 4?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, I keep doing all 4. I'm all healed up now.
Okay. All right.
Before we step through, I'd like to take a moment to loosen some of the shackles I keep upon myself
Yes.
and release the beast within. I will shift.
Ooh.
All right. And for you, shifting lasts 10 minutes, I think, because of your superior shifting. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, okay. What does that look like? So you release the shackles.
Mm-hmm.
What does shifted Crake look like?
So Craig kind of says a moment, if you will. He lowers his head, takes a deep breath. As he lets it out, you hear. He kind of swells a little bit. His form gets a little bigger. Hair sprouts and gets a little thicker around him. His fangs get longer, and his eyes almost begin to glow. He kind of shakes, sniffs around, and goes, "Let's see this evil ended."
Anyone else have anything they want to particularly do or say?
I would like to, as soon as we walk through the door, because I only have a minute of it, I would like to channel divinity, and I would like basically to, the way that I would do it is I would go through the list of herbs that my mentor taught me. And that's kind of how I would like channel like my focus, and like I would go through all the medicinal herbs, and that's kind of like my prayer.
Mm-hmm.
So I would do that and kind of like channel that, and that'll give me bonuses to attack.
Yep. And remind me, did your mentor get turned into a horrible monster and have to be killed? Yeah. Okay. I'm just saying. So you were trying to honor her memory and remember better times and make sure that doesn't happen to anyone else.
Yeah. I also burn brighter.
Yes, you do, which is important.
Yeah.
All right. So anyone else? Okay. I assume, I forget, one of you, I think the Seer has mage armor. I've assumed you've just cast that because that's just a thing you would want to have.
Oh.
What I'm saying, don't worry about it. I assumed that was, or, that was up from the beginning. All right. So, Crake draws on his inner beast. Time, you step forward with the sword in your hand, move into the final chamber, and as you go through your disciplines, light flows along the sword, and yet the shadows have grown deeper. You're in the chamber of the heart, a large room with a pedestal in the center that glows with a red light. At first, it looks dim, but as you move closer, Time, you can see that the light itself is incredibly bright. However, it's covered by just dark cracks spreading all over this disc that lies on the pedestal, as if the darkness and the light are at war. All around you, the darkness is indeed deeper than it should be, unnaturally. Even the brighter light of the sword only extends about 5 feet away from you, and the edges of the room are in complete darkness. Behind you, Corbin says, Go, you must shatter the sphere, destroy it before it's too late. What do you do?
Where's the sphere?
It's on the pedestal. It's not really a sphere. It's a disc, really.
Wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what does the seal look like?
Well, if you look, so you're going to step forward and look at the object. All right. Go ahead and give me a perception or investigation.
16 on the die.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, at first you thought that it was covered with cracks, but looking more closely, it's not that it's cracks; it's threads of shadow that are all around it, as if it's like a cage trying to crush it. but the seal itself is this bright light, or the disc is this bright light within. And Corbin says, quick, strike it with the sword.
Like, but I don't want to break the seal.
You must.
I'm gonna
think, just act.
I'm gonna take a close look at Corbin.
Yeah.
All right. I'll take insight or investigation.
Wait a minute. I have questions, and they're making me uncomfortable.
Insight or investigation would be good.
Craig and I are like, wait a second.
I ain't gonna tick. Roll off the. Don't roll off the. Stay on the. Okay, nope.
It's your boosted, shifted self. Your hands are too mighty to roll a tiny die.
Yeah, no, 5.
Yeah,
it's not gonna give us anything. It's,
all right.
actually, I mean, it is a. What is it? Yeah, it's a 9.
Hold that thought. All right. I would say, Weaver, go ahead and give me an insight check, which is wisdom if you're not trained in it, and I'm not sure if you are, but you do have advantage on the roll, which means you roll twice.
Right. Please be better on the second. 16.
All right.
Yeah.
So you are staring at him, Craig, and the thing is, you've known Corbin for a long time, and he's just an old man. It's hard for you. He taught you, your basic nature lore, so it's hard to look at him and imagine anything bad. However, he says, Craig, you've got to trust me here. However, Weaver, you feel, even as he is talking, that all along I have said the darkness has been growing stronger, the darkness is there, and you realize now that that's because a piece of it was with you all along, and that there is indeed the aura of the corruptor around him. What do you do, Weaver?
I ask Corbin who he is, or what he is, what's his.
I don't understand what you mean. I'm a druid of the Gatekeeper Order, a protector of the seal.
I would like to. If I.
Oh, you're sensing something.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to detect magic upon the cast on Corbin.
All right. I won't make you actually waste the spell slot because you're the Weaver. You know what you're doing, but you reach directly out with your mystical senses. And as you do just penetrate the illusion that this creature has woven around itself. The shadows, the same way that there's this cage of darkness around the seal, you see that same sort of misty network of threads around him, and as they pull away, you realize that his face beneath it is twisted and reptilian.
Can we all see this?
Yes. Basically, again, him challenging it has sort of caused it to break away, and this horrible, twisted, withered reptilian creature. And he howls, knowing that his disguise has been penetrated. No, you will not stop me when I am so close. I will have the power of the sword. And the shadows that were all around him just scatter in an burst across the room, clinging to all of you. I want all of you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah. Okay.
And roll that, and I'll go around and ask what each of you got.
Yeah.
Time, what did you get?
2.
Okay, once again, the seer has the power to assist you, but not with a 2. You keep wanting to give her guidance, seer, but you keep being like, ugh, not happening.
I'll
let you use your insight, because you realize at the last minute, no, the sword You are the key of the magic sword.
Boom, 18 on the die.
There you go. The light of the sword disperses these shadows. Craig, what'd you get?
I got a 13.
Yes, that is exactly what you needed. Keeper.
6.
Okay. Weaver.
14.
You were okay. And Seer.
I rolled a 22.
Oof.
Yeah.
Look at you. Okay. So it is only so all of you take 3 points of necrotic damage as this chill wave spreads across you, but you are almost all of you are able to dodge the strands or cut them away, except for the keeper. So keeper, these just flow all around you like the disc on the table. They are surrounding you and digging into you. You are still, however, currently able to act. So one last time, let's have everybody give me an initiative check.
I should have stopped waiting for you to finish your description and just Eldritch Blast him while he was talking.
Time, what'd you get?
12.
All right, Craig.
Respectable this time, 19.
Okay. Keeper.
21.
Ooh, now we're talking. Weaver.
20.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Seer.
6.
All right. I realize, Seer, we have failed to do something for you
Yeah, I
that
thought
we
about that,
should
the
have done
dice.
earlier, but I'm going to at least give it to you now. So you have 2 rolls. I just rolled them. You have a 17 and an 18. So both good this time, that you can swap for anyone's D20 roll by altering destiny. I don't know that I would waste one on an initiative roll as such, but you have those 2 in your pocket if you want to. It's as if you knew that you would need them for more important things later.
Well, it was a 17 and a
17 and an 18.
Nice.
Oh wow.
I like, because the Zoom background, that for a moment there, it was like reality itself was warping around the keeper. It's a bonus, exactly. It's not an accident. So keeper, you go first. The darkness is still writhing around what was Corbin, and you can definitely feel that this is a focal point for the force of the corruptor. What are you going to do?
So this is just kind of swarming around Corbin right now?
So basically, Corbin is first off twisted, as you can see, and it's like he's radiating these dark sort of threads of shadow. They're all
coming
around
from
you.
him.
They're coming from him. They're all around you. Unfortunately, you don't really see a way. It's not like the tendrils of the Gator you fought earlier. You don't immediately see a way to get them off of you. If anything, you feel them sort of digging into you, trying to infect your thoughts. If you took a full action, you could try and sort of fight that off. But at the moment, what does happen is you do take 5 necrotic damage. But beyond that, it just seems that it's a sort of cold web clinging to you, eating away at you. What would you like to do?
Is it possible? Would it be possible to move away from it, to jump back from it, or is it attached to me?
It's more like it's attached to you, like he's sort of the source of it, but it's just kind of as if it's spider webs that have just gooped around you. You could, as I said, if you took your full action instead of making an attack, you could try and essentially pry them off. It's sort of a combination of willpower as much as it is physical, but it would take your full action. So it's up to you. At the moment, you're not sure what it's doing, other than that it is doing a little bit of damage each round.
Well, let's go. Let's go for. Let's take the rapier with the telekinetic energy behind it, and see if I could slash away the ones that are closest to my body, and see what that does.
Now you try, as I say, it is physical-ish, so you're trying with the rapier, but it is beyond that really about your mental strength. So go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw. So D20 plus your wisdom bonus.
Let's see, an 8.
So unfortunately you try, but it's again, part of the problem is you're sort of trying physically, and what you're finding is, they're just missed.
I've panicked.
So you do that. Do you want to move at all? I mean, you can try and move away from him a little if you want. So basically the room is about 30 feet, more or less like a 30-foot circle with this pedestal with a disc, glowing disc on it in the center. The edges of the room are in dark shadow.
How close am I to that pedestal?
You could walk up to it pretty easily if you wanted. You know, basically, room's 30 feet across, you know, so you're about 15 feet from it.
Just out of curiosity, could I walk up to it and touch the glowing disc?
You cannot this round because you already used your action to do things. You could walk up to it. I'm saying you could walk up to it and be next to it, so you could do that on your next action if you want.
All right, let's do that then.
Okay, so you are standing next to the pedestal. And that brings us to Crake.
Eldritch Blast.
Bam. Into him?
Yes.
All right.
Wait, where is it? Okay.
What does your Eldritch Blast look like?
It's like a deep purple light with a white core, and it fires out of one or both hands depending on how focused I am on. And this time, since my one hand, I just kind of look at him and I go, "You have defiled memory of my friend." Right? Throw my hand out and blast it. That's going to be a 16.
All right, that hits.
Yeah, we like that.
So the darkness around him tries to form a shield, but your bolt just shatters these nest of tendrils and smashes into him. How much?
5 points of damage.
Well, it's a start. It's the principle of the thing.
Yeah.
He staggers back a step, but it again, the blast sort of sears his flesh a little, but it's like the darkness concentrates around it, keeping it from sort of blasting through him. So it's damage, but you're sort of burning away the darkness,
right.
And you're going to have to do that before you're sort of really hurting him. But it looked cool.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. In fact, I'm going to give the next person who makes an attack roll against him advantage, just because it was inspiring. It was a cool moment.
Well, thank you.
Do you have anything else you want to do?
You know what? Yeah, I mean that's I wasted an Eldritch Blast. I tried to get him. It didn't really do what I wanted to do. So I'm gonna reach further down and realize that my friend has been subsumed by some evil, corrupting creature. And I will reach down. I've embraced my beast, but now I embrace my rage.
All right.
As I do that, I'm going to draw my walking staff and bring out the Bishop axe blades.
And do you actually grow in size with your rage, or is it just a state of mind?
I mean, he feels bigger.
All right.
Actually,
I'm just saying it's intense. It's pretty scary. Very intense. Yes, there was a part of you that was hoping maybe you'd shock him back to his senses or something, but no, you do not feel that there is salvation here. Only the salvation of the blade. So you've struck him with the bolt. He did stagger back a step. You draw your blade, you face him, and his mouth opens and you hear laughter, but it is not his voice anymore that is speaking, and it is a voice that is more in your own head. and it just says, "You will break the seal." And he just raises his hand, and tendrils of darkness flow out over you, and do strike. So that is going to be 8 points of necrotic damage.
Ouch.
And they are again clinging to you like they are clinging to the keeper. And he is cackling, but he also reaches out towards the keeper. And keeper, you find yourself moving actually against your will. And you spin around and strike at time with your rapier. So go ahead. You don't use the psychic force. He can't make you do that. But it is basically like the threads of shadow are just using your body as a puppet. So go ahead and make an attack roll.
I know you don't mean it.
I'm sorry.
This is when you want to roll low, bro.
6.
Roll low.
Woo! It tries, but it cannot force you to. You are able to resist with all your strength and time. You are easily able to deflect the attack. You can tell that his heart is not in it, and it is your action time.
Oh, hells no. And I go up to this guy and I'm like, corruptor, destroying our friends. You must be stopped. And I would like to attempt to hit it. I would like to hit it. And also, I would like to divine smite it.
All right. So try to hit it first. You do have advantage, and don't forget you did use your channel divinity.
Oh, I wanted to smite it.
Right. Well, so you hit it first, and then
2.
you smite. Yeah.
Oh, I got so many bonuses. Good, because I'm gonna need it.
What'd you get?
Okay, that is a 27 to hit.
All right. So again, you hesitated at first, but Crake's inspiring blow guided your hand, and you drive the blade in. So you were using a smite, which uses a spell slot. I'll just go ahead and ask Weaver or Seer, do you want to channel any of your immortal power into this attack?
I would like to deal some radiant damage.
All right, so hold on a moment before, you can roll all your damage if you want, Satine, while we work this out. So you use a first or second level spell slot for that, Weaver.
First.
And I think that's 2d8, is that correct?
2, yes.
Okay, so go ahead and roll that. Seer, do you want to add on this, or are you good?
Yeah, I'm also going to do a first level spell slot.
All right, and that's 2d8 psychic damage. So as you drive the blade in, I'm going to pause for a moment, because everyone, you feel that you are not only wielding your own power, you are wielding the power of the immortals. What is the thought that you are using to channel light in through the sword? Time.
Oh, I'm channeling the power of friendship and all of the people we've lost and all the people that we're about to save by getting rid of this thing.
Friendship is magic.
Sorry.
And Seer, what is the piece of knowledge that is guiding you in the destruction of this creature?
That this is my purpose, and I've seen its destruction.
You have
So
seen
I know
its
what
destruction.
to do.
That is exactly true. And Weaver, what is the element of hope that guides you here?
Was hope. Hope it's...
There you go.
You took the words right from my mouth.
Friendship is, in fact, magic. So, Time, how much damage did you roll?
2 14s.
Okay, so that is 28. Weaver, how much does hope add to this attack?
Apologies. I had it 2d8. Ooh. 9.
9 points of hope. And
Radiant hope.
Seer,
I roll 2 8s, so 16.
that's 16 points of destiny. Okay, so that is a total of 53 points of damage.
The sword is so magic.
Drop. So again, you step forward, you drive the blade directly into Corbin, and you feel that power flowing through you, the knowledge that this is your destiny, the hope that light can triumph over darkness. And energy just crackles around the blade, and essentially all the darkness around him flows to the point, trying to hold the blade away. And so you're holding it right against it, and you can see the darkness boiling away as all the light strikes against it, but it does not quite break. So the shadows that had been surrounding him are fading. You know, as I said, you're melting them away, but not quite enough to actually drive the blade into him.
Man.
But you can sense that his power is vastly diminished, and yet not so much that he cannot glance. You know, you can see the panic in his eyes, and you can just feel it radiating off of him. But he glances wild-eyed towards Crake, and Crake, the threads of shadow that are all around you compel you to take a swing at time.
You do it.
Go ahead and make an attack.
10.
Well, all right. I'm going to give you advantage, though. Because, you know, she's so focused on this attack.
I have a high AC.
She does have a high AC.
Or really
You
high
probably
AC.
aren't going to hit. What'd you get?
Well, 10 or 11.
11 won't do it. So again, it is he swings the blade, the Biesh blades at you, and yet at the last moment, right as they are right towards your neck, Crake manages to freeze, you know, just use all his strength to hold the blade just before it strikes you. So you will not allow yourself to be used in this way. And that was a dramatic turn. That was just one turn. And so, yes, there is a wild surge when you rage. I forgot about that, Crake. I will figure that out in a moment. Something extra is going to happen. But for now, I would like us to go to... I think we may have missed the Weaver in there. You were 20, so Weaver.
Mm-hmm. I would like to go towards this pedestal and see if this seal, we could utilize this seal in any way.
All right. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
14.
All right. So you reaching out with your arcane senses are able to sort of sense that the darkness is encaging this, you know, is trying to consume it the same way that you assume it consumed Corbin. You pick it up, and it actually lifts off the pedestal. So you're holding it. You can feel the light within it, but you don't know exactly how to break the shadows surrounding it. Do you have anything you would like to try? Actually, I'll just leave it there for this turn, but just say you are holding it. You formed a sort of connection to it. You can feel that you know that's what you're trying to do.
Okay.
But you're not sure yet exactly how to do it. So you can think about that for a turn, and we will go to the seer. But also when Crake called out the beast as he did. You also have a glimpse of the creature, of its thoughts, Craig, and it is, trying to use all of you. It is focused on time and the sword. It needs the sword, and it will have disadvantage if it makes any attacks against you. And what I will say, because we didn't have that in mind before, is I will give you advantage on any saving throw or action you use if you try and break the strands.
Nice.
But Seer, what would you like to do?
I want to go and try to break the keeper out of the strands.
Okay. Do you have a particular idea for how you want to do that? Or are you just going to try and use your sort of mental connection?
I was just going to use my mental connection.
No, that is reasonable. You have
and try to will them off of him.
Yeah, you have had, you have worked together for literally time immemorial. You have a bond and a shared purpose. What is it? Like, what is the concept that is the sort of anchor you were going to use to shatter this darkness off of him?
The fact that he is my brother and we are cursed forever.
All right.
I kind of need him.
Yeah, that's legit. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check. And remember, you have advantage on that, so you get to roll twice.
Oh, 22.
He cannot be bound. He is beyond. Yeah. This is just even a shadow of his true power. Remember who you are. And yes, the keeper of the magic sword cannot be held by petty shadows. And they shatter off of him. That is your primary action. Is there anything else you would like to do?
No.
Okay. He would force another attack off the keeper, but you successfully broke that. So we are back to the keeper. You know that Corbin is weakened. The shadows shielding him have grown very weak, but he still has some strength. And you are standing next to the Weaver and who is holding the disc.
So is Corbin beyond saving at this point? Has he lost himself completely?
You do not know. But he looks bad. It seems, you don't know.
I don't believe this creature is my friend. I believe he was inhabiting a shell of it.
Well, then I say we finish him off.
All right.
I run over to him and stab him straight through the heart with my rapier.
Go ahead. Psychic damage.
Okay, let's see. Does it hit? 22.
Yes.
All right, absolute hit. D8 plus D6.
D8. So it's a 4 on the D8.
Okay.
And the 6. The 6.
And you have a bonus to damage too, I think. I hope you've been giving yourself that based on either your strength or dexterity, whichever is higher.
Yes.
So 10 on the roll. I think it's 2 for you, or is it 3?
2, I think.
Okay, so 12 points. The shadows again sort of move. They're creating a deflective shield around him, and yet you shatter, tear through a bunch of them with your psychic force, and there's just the slightest cage. He hisses, and you can feel his fear. And it is Crake.
I believe that the aberration before me needs a taste of Bishek.
Yes.
Oh yeah, don't forget about that. I chose red for my rage.
Nice.
And was
All
rewarded.
right.
quite nicely.
Well, that's going to be a lot of various damage. So.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Need you. So roll. Oh gosh, what? This is going to take a minute to add up. All right. So we got nice. 13 plus 4 plus 4. He's 21. And then, oh, wait. Let's not forget those two. And 26.
All right. So the shadows move to block, and you shatter them with the blow. And the shadows have just blocked, and he himself, you drive him to his knees. He drops down weak and doesn't even have the strength to act at the moment. And time.
I'm gonna flip my hand on backwards on the axe.
Yep.
Push him down a little further and go.
Yep.
Time. Finish this.
All right.
I'm on it. I do my last smite with my attack. Do I have it? So is he?
You do not actually have to roll for this. If you're using the smite, I mean, again, Craig is holding him there. You're just surging with power. Just describe this to me. What does this look like? Craig is holding him down. What does this look like?
We lock eyes. I look back at the immortals and I can feel their power, each of their colors filling me with purpose and energy. And I look at my sword and it's like glowing with that golden beam, but also all their colors are swirling around me. And I feel like I just see this arrow that's pointing directly at the spot to do them in.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you drive the sword into him, glowing with light, and it just electrifies him. You know, there's like light flowing through his veins, like you see him burning under his skin. Light shines out of his eyes. He tenses and then just sort of collapses against the blade, and reaches out towards Crake, and he is definitely dead, you know, here, but as his last, he reaches out towards Crake. And Weaver, give me another Arcana check.
All right.
I do have advantage versus his darkness.
Yeah. Oh, he's not attacking you.
Oh, okay. It's not a
11.
All right, here's the issue. Two things happen. So Corbin slumps, and all of you feel a sudden dark presence. The shadows around the edge of the room actually feel like they're growing darker. And Weaver, you realize what you are holding is not the seal. It is a powerful gatekeeper artifact, but it is not the seal. And Crake, you hear Corbin whisper, Crake, it's a trick. The seals take many forms. Some are stone, some are blood.
Oh no!
I am the seal.
No!
Whoops.
You realize in this moment, this was the creature all along. Of course, it was corrupting the seal, but it was corrupting him and controlling his actions, so it could get you to use the sword.
I heal it.
We're out of combat.
Heal
What are
him!
you doing? Okay, it's too late. Oh, it's too late. He is dead. I was just, but it is a matter of, while it is too late to heal him, you can feel now as you touch him that his essence is not completely gone. You know, that basically the seal was a part of his life force. It's too late to save him, but that power it hasn't completely broken through. But you can also
it's still covered
feel,
in shadows.
Yes, you can still feel the power of, you know, the corruptor building about to burst free. What was it you said, Craig?
The artifact, is it still covered in shadows?
They have diminished.
Perhaps we can move the seal into the artifact make the thing that we thought was our solution the actual solution. Or
yes, there is
one of us should take it upon ourselves.
There is power in the disc. For sure. You can feel that it is a force of light. It is probably something that Corbin used to sustain his life. He is far older than a normal human would be. Does anyone have an immediate thing they want to do?
So do we want to try to push it into the seal, or do I just want to take it myself and try to take since it was on a living being before?
Oh gosh.
Because we can do either. I feel like we need to move around because I'm the key, but I don't know if the seal needs to be in the cavern. I mean, the fact that he was in the cavern leads me to believe that the seal needs to stay close to the cabin, but we also have the option of sticking it. So, do I try to take this one, or do we try to push the artifact? Into the artifact?
Artifact.
You got a one shot on this one, guys. We're doing this wrong. Should I just take it, since I am a living being and he was a living being?
But you have to come. I can't be alone.
I do not know that if I take this upon myself, I will not be able to travel with you.
Go ahead and give me basically what you're asking about is gatekeeper lore. Do you have any kind of skill? If not, I default it to an intelligence check. But if you can, I might let you have a survival check if there's nothing better, because it's kind of
survival's our best bet here.
That's where your survival skill came from.
Mm-hmm. The 12.
It's not great, but you do think that since you put the idea on the table, I will tell you that that's the thing. You don't think this disc is a seal, but you do think that that's the point. He is a living creature. You are a living creature. You're not convinced that it would mean, there's only one way to find out. But you're not convinced that it would trap you here. You think that he might have been here just because it was a safe sanctum sort of place.
Then I will.
But you could try and take on the essence of it.
Well, seeing as how my barbarian path is wild soul and magic surges within me, I will reach to him and I will say, "Rest easy, my friend. Release your burden to me." And I'll try to pull the energy of the seal into myself.
Okay, so you lay your hands on him and you feel his gratitude and his hope. Meanwhile, Weaver, you are still holding the disc, and you do feel like you're trying to sort of pull it. You feel him trying to push it to you. You feel yourself trying to pull it, Craig, but it is difficult. Weaver, you feel that this thing you are holding is a surge of, it is a reservoir of magical power. Do you want to try and do something with it?
Shoot. I do not know.
And I'll go ahead and extend this to all the immortals as you are sort of one. If any of you have an idea or suggestion here, please feel free to throw it out.
Look to my brothers for some help.
Can we use it to get rid of the shadows in the room for good, or?
Hopefully, if it is transferred, if Craig is successful at what he is doing, if you strengthen the seal, that should succeed at that. It's that he's having a hard time doing it.
Immortals,
I think
use your magic.
I would ask the Weaver to step over and touch the seal to Craig and see if that eases the transition.
All right. Weaver, do you do that?
Yes, I do. Absolutely.
Okay. Craig, you can feel power in the seal. Not the seal, the disc. And that is something that he must have used to sustain himself. Do you want to draw on that power? You could sort of pull it all out just to give yourself a surge. Do you want to do that?
I want to use it to channel the energy that's in him into me. I don't want to drain the seal. I want to pull the energy from
Right. You're draining the disc is what I'm saying.
Yes.
All right. And I will just ask, Time, can you lend him hope or strength in any way?
Yes. I will use I know this is probably not how you're supposed to use it, but I would like to cast Sanctuary as an idea.
I like
so, like, I'm really like holding the space around him and
protection, peace,
a protective field around him.
All right. So, Time, basically, again, you are fighting a war, but Time gives both of you and Corbin, this sense of peace. It's going to be all right. Drawing the energy you need to do this out of the disc, you are able to draw it all, to draw the seal into yourself. The shadows fade as your full strength restores the seal to its full power. And you are now, in addition to being the anchor of the immortals, seal against the corruptor. Now we're very short on time, so I'm going to have to call it there. But I'm going in a moment. But I am just going to say, congratulations! You have restored the second seal. You feel corruptor's anguish slipping away as the shadows fade, and the power of the sword lends strength. The disc has served its purpose, but you do feel, Crake, that you are not trapped in this place, that the seal is now you. Now, it is a burden in that should you die, the seal will be broken. So this is likely why Corbin remained in isolation, was to remove risk. But you are not forced to remain in this place.
Perhaps I will find someone else to bear this burden, but in the meantime, we will take the disc and we will traverse and see that its corruptor is not unleashed somewhere else.
The disc no longer has the full power that it did, but you do feel there is still a power to it that, given, a long rest, if you will, you will be able to figure out how that power could be utilized.
Slip into the old bag of hope.
Exactly. But congratulations. You, once again, the light has triumphed against the darkness. Keeper, do you have any last words you would offer?
Your world is now safe again for the time being. Please do not hesitate to call upon us again if the need is great.
Very well. Time, any last things you would like to say?
Craig, we need a vacation.
And I think that's where the credits run. So congratulations, one and all. Thank you all very much. And again, I'm Keith Baker. I will also just because we're here, say that my new book, Exploring Eberron, just came out today on the DMs Guild. So if you want to know more about Eberron, check that out.
If I had an advanced copy, I might say that it was awesome. If somehow an advanced copy had made it,
I don't know how that could have happened.
If something like that had happened, I would say it's incredible and I love it and I'm very happy.
But just to go around quick, Satine, anything you want to add before we go?
You guys can find me, Satine Phoenix, at Satine Phoenix on everything, satinephoenix.net. And if you want to sit in on any of my games or be a part of my GM tip series, patreon.com/satinephoenix.
Damion, what are you up to?
Everywhere. You can find me everywhere at Damion Poitier. I usually post what I'm doing, but sometimes I'm not sure when I can release said information. So just Damion Poitier everywhere, and hit me up, say hello.
And Immortals, I think we have there's a DJ set later at Gen Con. Is that correct?
Correct, on Sunday, I believe.
Sunday.
And you can find out all information, magicswordmusic.com. And we'll be having a lot of things coming up streaming-wise, since there is no touring for the foreseeable future, but we will be back.
The light will not die. Weaver, Seer, anything you'd like to say?
Just watch for us on Twitch. Be
Excellent.
Playing some games, hanging out.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here and for saving the world again.
Thank you, Keith. Appreciate it. Great game.
Thank you.
Dungeon Master, congratulations, Eberron. Woo!
Thank you, Keith.